in the world.
So interesting. So as you talked about the United States and other countries, there is one argument that 9/11 has been an important triggering point, making states powerful, giving them justifications for constraining civil liberties and freedoms. And how so? Because the Western countries like United States were approving whatever states like Pakistan and Malaysia and maybe in some cases Indonesia were passing laws to control political opposition or intellectual voices. Do you agree that th- the United States has contributed to the lack of freedom in the Muslim world in post 9/11 scenario?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, 9/11 itself was horrendous. Thousands of people died. It was a violent terrorist attack. But the post 9/11 policy of US was horrendous too. Not only the invasion of two countries, which led the casualty of hundreds of thousands maybe in both Iraq and Afghanistan, directly or indirectly, as well as many Americans die. But the concept of terror and terrorism made governments like monsters, regardless whether they are democratic or authoritarian. It gave them the chance to label any group as terrorist. China is now having a cultural genocide or cultural ethnic cleansing against 10 million Uyghur Muslims in China because of what is going on in Gaza and elsewhere. Now we no longer talk about that. And China say, I'm dealing with terrorism. And when they use this magic word terror, nobody can do anything. Same with Erdogan regime. They have Gülenist terrorists, they have Kurdish terrorists. They even label certain intellectuals as terrorists because they try to make a coup d'etat against the government. And the number of people investigated by the terrorism charge in Turkey, last time I checked, was more than 1.5 million. So if you have 1.5 million citizens investigated by terrorism, there is something wrong in your education system. How do you produce about 2 million terrorists in your country, right? And the United States is responsible for giving this power and authority to governments by starting a war on terror, then randomly using the term terrorists. And now it's used for justification of Israel kill individuals, thousands of them, saying that we are fighting against terrorism. This is a global problem and it's shrink freedoms everywhere.